If your gut feels off and you have no idea where to start, this is where. In this video, I'm walking you through 4 simple foundational things I work on with every single client before we even talk supplements, testing, or special diets. And honestly, they're probably not what you've been told. My name is Erin Harner, integrative registered dietitian nutritionist, and gut health, IBS, and SIBO coach. Let's dive in. I feel like the field of gut health, it's gotten way overcomplicated. So where I start with clients is I always back it up. How do we go back to the basics? Because I can tell you 9 times out of 10, we're skipping the basics. We're skipping the things that are the simplest, the lowest hanging fruit, sometimes free, sometimes low priced, right? We're skipping the things that really matter, and they do matter, and they matter a lot. So going back to water consumption, right? Are you drinking enough water? Is your urine running kind of looking like lemonade and not like apple juice? Right? Are you hydrated? And sometimes we don't have enough electrolytes in our diet, and we need to add a little bit of electrolytes to our water to help us with hydration. Not going to go jump into that rabbit hole, but sometimes electrolytes really help with hydration. Next up is fiber. So fiber, are you getting enough? For women in particular, the recommendations are at least 25 grams of fiber a day. How the heck do you know if you're getting 25 grams of fiber a day? Right? That's like most people could not tell you how many grams of fiber they're getting, unless, of course, you're supplementing with something like Metamucil or psyllium husk, and you can, or flaxseed or chia seed, and you can look at the label and see like how much am I actually taking. One of my favorite ways to do this is actually doing something called a food, mood, and symptom journal. And in that journal, I have clients write down the food that they're eating, the symptoms that they're having, and their bowel movements. I want to know, like, what do their bowel movements look like? And we can take the food that you're eating and you can plug it into an app. My favorite app for this is called Chronometer. You can use MyFitnessPal, My Nut Diary. There's a lot of great ones on the market. But you can plug what you're eating into an app, and I call it like a diet audit. Do it for a few days and see how much fiber you're getting in your diet. And if you're not getting at least 25 grams, then you know where to go from there. Sometimes I see people need up to 35, 45, even 50 grams of fiber a day to properly get things moving. But if you don't have enough hydration, the fiber is going to be a problem. And next up would be movement, right? If we're sitting all day, there's nothing compressing and contracting our intestines and helping with peristalsis or the movement through your intestinal tract. So your abdominal muscles help with motility. They help move food through. And if we're just sitting, it's going to create some stationary poop. We're going to have a problem. So making sure that we're moving throughout the day is really key, especially after you eat. There's kind of a magic window, 5 to 10 minutes of just walking after you eat radically improves digestion, radically improves gut health, and also helps with blood sugar balance. So it's like really like super beneficial, and it doesn't have to be complicated. 5 to 10 minutes. One other thing is the gut-brain connection, stress management. If we're super stressed, if we have anxiety, if we're worried, if we're rushing, if we're eating on the run, shoveling food into our mouth, not chewing, we're missing the rest and digest. And we have to be in a calm state in order for our body to properly digest food. And if we're not chewing our food, we're missing a key component of digestion. And everything downstream doesn't work as well. Because the only place in your digestive system that has teeth is like your mouth. So we have to chew our food. Like, I really like to back it up, see what's going on, and start with the basics. Because 9 times out of 10, we're skipping the basics and we're going to these higher level solutions. So start with food, start with the basics, start with those things I mentioned: hydration, fiber, movement, and stress management. And that would be a really great place to start. I like people to start with the basics first, because we can often fix so many challenges by just doing those 4 things that I just mentioned, right? I'm going to say it again because it's that important: hydration, fiber, movement, and stress management. So what my program does is it's really for people who have chronic constipation, chronic diarrhea, IBS with constipation, IBS with diarrhea, mixed IBS, or diagnosed small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So these imbalances, these challenges have turned into some sort of disorder or dysfunction. What I do in my program, one of the key components is taking it back a step and doing assessment. Oftentimes We have 5 to 10 minutes with our doctors. No one's actually looking at what's truly going on. Is there a medication that might be related to what's going on? Is there supplements that you're taking that are contributing to your problem? Is it the diet that you're eating? Is it that you're very, very stressed? And we really take it back a step so that we can move forward with a better direction instead of just jumping into solutions that may or may not help. I don't like the guess and check method. And so we start with assess, then we move into calm. How do we eliminate or reduce the symptoms by 80%? Then we move into nourish. So nourish is how do we give the body what it needs so that you can rebalance your microbiome, so that you can have good motility, so you can have those 1 to 3 smooth, soft bowel movements every single day. And then we move into maintenance, rebalance. How do we keep this going long term? This isn't just a short-term thing. How do we do this for long-term health? Right? And that's the piece that I feel like so many people miss. It's like the short-term protocol, but there's no, what do we do then? How do we keep this going for long-term? How do we prevent the relapse? So that's the 4th phase of my program. And it's really for women who are struggling with bowel issues, right? Those things that I mentioned, and it helps uncover what's going on from the roots. And one key component of that is that I incorporate stool testing. So I use DNA-based stool testing to get a really clear look at that microbiome. We have 4.5 pounds of bacteria in our gut. They all have really important jobs. And if we have no idea what's going on in the microbiome, it's kind of hard to correct what's wrong. Right? There's things that we can do with fiber. There's like very specific things that we can do to correct microbiome imbalances. What's going on with digestion? Right? Is your gallbladder working well? Is your pancreas working well? Do you have overgrowth in your small intestine? So we have to dig a little deeper when these challenges aren't resolved by some of the more basic things that I was just mentioning. If you're still not sure what your gut symptoms mean or which of these basics to focus on first, take my free gut clarity quiz. It's going to help you figure out your gut type and give you a clear starting point of what to do next based on what your body actually needs. Just click the link below and you'll get your personalized results in under 2 minutes. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.